Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an ancient story that honestly holds a timeless secret to overcoming pretty much any obstacle you can think of.
Now, that's a pretty incredible statement, right? Especially when you find out it was said by a terrifying, man-eating water demon talking to a monkey. So, what on earth are these three virtues? What could be so powerful that it makes a monster stop in its tracks and just admire its next meal?
That's the big question we're going to answer today. This all comes from a Jataka tale, and it's a story about a paranoid father, a heroic son, and one heck of a deadly test. Let's dive in.
Okay, so our story kicks off in the Himalayas with this powerful monkey king. And for those of you who know these tales, this is the future Devadatta. Now, he didn't rule with wisdom or respect. Nope, he ruled with absolute, crushing fear.
I mean, this king was just completely eaten up by paranoia. He was so terrified that one of his own sons would grow up and take his throne that he did the unthinkable, secretly getting rid of his own male offspring. Just awful.
But one of his sons, well, his mother knew what the king was up to. She escaped and raised her son, the Bodhisattva, far away in secret. So this young prince grows up strong, smart, and totally unaware of his father's terrible cruelty.
So eventually, his mother brings him back to meet his father. And the king is just stunned by how powerful his son is. He pretends to give him a big hug, but really, he's trying to crush him to death. When that doesn't work, his fear just goes into overdrive, and he cooks up an even more devious plot. So he says to his son, I'm getting old. I'm going to make you king. But of course, there's a catch, a deadly one. He sends him on this honorable quest to fetch some lotus flowers from a pond that, oh, by the way, is home to a man-eating demon, a Rakshasa. The king is basically hoping the demon will do his dirty work for him. And the Bodhisattva, being this noble young monkey, is just eager to prove himself to his dad. So he accepts the challenge, no questions asked, and heads off to this dangerous pond, having no idea what's really going on.
Okay, and this is a crucial moment. This is where we see the first virtue in action, even though we don't have a name for it yet. He gets to the pond, and instead of just jumping in, he stops. He looks around, and he reads the clues, the story that's right there in the mud.
This really breaks down his thought process, doesn't it? It's like a masterclass in strategy. He knew this wasn't just about a demon anymore. This was a trap set by his own father, so he had to outsmart both of them. This wasn't a job for brute strength. This was a job for a brilliant mind.
So what does he do? It's genius. He doesn't go in the water at all. He uses his incredible strength and speed to leap clear across the pond, from one side to the other, snatching the flowers from the edge as he goes. He gets everything his father asked for without ever setting foot in the demon's trap.
Now imagine you're the demon, lurking just under the water, waiting for your dinner to just walk in. And then you see this incredible display of smarts, guts, and pure athleticism. The Rakshasa was just completely captivated.
The demon comes up out of the water, but not to attack. It's so impressed it's basically forgotten it's hungry. It knows it's looking at someone truly special. I mean, think about that. His enemy was so blown away it had no choice but to admire him.
And this is it. The demon itself is the one who spells it all out. It gives us the answer to that big question we started with. It names the three virtues that make our hero absolutely unbeatable.
So the first one is diligence, but we're not just talking about being a busy bee here. The original text is really specific. It's the highest possible effort combined with intelligence. It's about being smart and focused when the pressure is on. Number 2 is courage. Simple enough, right? But think about it. He knew for a fact a monster was waiting to eat him just feet away. But he didn't freak out. He didn't run. He just acted with a totally clear, calm, and fearless mind. And the third, which kind of ties it all together, is wisdom. This is the big picture virtue. It's the ability to see the whole problem, not just the demon, but his father's evil plan too, and then to figure out a truly creative way to solve it. So how does it all end? Well, just like a storybook, really. The demon is so impressed that it becomes his ally. It offers to carry the flowers for him and goes with him back to the kingdom. Can you imagine the look on the old king's face? He sees his son walking back, not dead, but with the very demon he sent to kill him now acting like his personal servant. The shock, the failure of his evil plan, it was literally too much for him. His own jealous heart just gave out. And of course, the other monkeys immediately made the Bodhisattva their new and rightful king. It's a great ending, for sure. The tyrant falls, the hero rises. But this story is so much more than that. Because that enemy doesn't have to be a literal demon in a pond. For us, the enemy can be any challenge we face, any big project, any fear that holds us back.
So let's think about how we can actually use these. Diligence, that's putting in the smart, focused work to master a new skill for your job. Courage, that's facing that fear of public speaking or standing up for what you believe in. And wisdom, that's figuring out a creative solution to a really tough problem at home or at work. They're not just abstract ideas, they're practical tools.
What this story really teaches us is that real strength, the kind that lasts, it doesn't come from being the loudest or the strongest person in the room. It comes from inside. It comes from diligence, courage, and wisdom. And when you cultivate those, that's when you really become the ruler of your own life.
And at its core, this whole story is really about finding a path to strength and peace. So in that spirit, there's a simple wish. May you all be happy. Thank you so much for joining this explainer.